Did you know that only 5% of seniors over 80 can still do these 5 simple things? And those 5 things quietly predict who will stay independent and who won't. It's a shocking number, isn't it? One day you're standing up with ease, walking confidently, maybe even dancing at your grandson's wedding. The next you're reaching for the armrest, avoiding dark hallways, or feeling unsure on your feet. That quiet loss, it sneaks in. And for many, by the time they notice, it's already stolen years of strength and freedom. But here's the good news. If you catch these early warning signs, and I'll show you exactly what they are, you can train your body back into that top 5%. You can stay strong, balanced, and independent, even well into your 80s and beyond. So stay with me. In the next few minutes, you'll learn 5 simple tests you can try at home and what to do if you can't pass them yet. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching this from, and what time of day is it right now? Drop a comment below. Even if it's just a quiet moment in your day, I'm grateful to share it with you. And if this video helps you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Test 1. Stand on one leg for 30 seconds. Some changes in aging come so quietly we don't even realize they're happening until something small reminds us. One day you're standing on one leg to put on your sock like you always have. The next you're reaching for the dresser because suddenly your balance just isn't there. It may feel like no big deal in the moment, but that single change could be your body's quiet warning sign. There's a test doctors use that tells us more than most blood work ever could. It's called the single leg stand test, and it might just predict your future better than any X-ray. It looks simple on the surface. All you have to do is lift one foot off the ground and see how long you can hold the position. But under that stillness, something incredible is happening inside your body. When you balance on one leg, you activate a complex network of muscles, nerves, and sensors throughout your entire system. Your inner ear or vestibular system is working to keep your center of gravity aligned. Your leg and core muscles are firing to hold you upright, and your proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space, is doing its quiet work behind the scenes. It's a full-body conversation that you can't hear, but your body feels it with every second. In a large study of seniors across the U.S., researchers found a strong connection between this test and fall risk. If you can't hold your balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds, your chances of falling are significantly higher. And falls, as you may know, are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65 in America. On the flip side, those who could hold the pose for 30 seconds or more often had the physical function of someone 10 to 20 years younger. That's not just encouraging, it's a glimpse into what's possible when we train the body even later in life. I'd like to introduce you to Sylvia from Asheville, North Carolina. She's 78, a retired teacher, and a proud grandmother of 4. One morning she was getting dressed for church when she realized she had to sit down just to put on her shoes. She told me it wasn't pain, it was just like I didn't trust my own legs anymore. Sylvia tried the single leg stand test and barely made it 3 seconds. But instead of feeling discouraged, she decided to make it part of her morning routine. She started by standing near her kitchen counter. She'd lift one foot just an inch off the ground, holding it for 5 seconds. She'd switch sides, take a break, and try again. By the 3rd week, she could do 15 seconds on each leg. And after 3 months, she sent me a video proudly showing 45 seconds of steady balance, no support, no shaking, just pure confidence. If you're curious to try this yourself, here's how you can do it safely at home. Stand next to a wall or a sturdy chair just in case you need support. Lift one foot slightly, just a few inches off the ground, and start your timer. See how long you can hold the position without leaning or touching down. Don't force anything. Just notice where you are today. If you're under 10 seconds, don't worry, you're not alone. And the good news is, improvement doesn't require a gym or fancy equipment. It takes just 5 minutes a day, a little patience, and a commitment to start. Start by practicing 5 seconds at a time on each leg twice a day. Once it feels easier, raise the lifted foot a bit higher. Then work on holding the pose a few seconds longer each week. Over time, you'll notice better balance, steadier steps, and more trust in your body. That trust makes all the difference whether you're stepping into the shower or reaching for the top cabinet. For seniors living alone, especially in rural parts of America, like the Midwest or Appalachia, this simple skill can mean staying safe in your own home. In fact, Medicare studies show that balance training reduces fall-related ER visits by nearly 40% among adults over 70. And for veterans in VA clinics across the country, this test is now part of routine screenings for fall prevention. So if you're watching this right now, I invite you to try it and share your result in the comments. Let me know how many seconds could you hold it today. I'd love to hear from someone in Arizona or Maine or anywhere in between. Even if it's just 5 seconds, that's 5 seconds more than yesterday, and it's the first step toward a steadier, safer tomorrow. Test 2, sit and stand up 10 times in 30 seconds. One of the first things to go without warning is the simple ability to stand up from a chair without using your hands. It doesn't seem like much at first. Maybe you push off the armrest to rise. Maybe you take an extra second to steady your feet. But over time, this quiet shift in strength changes the way you live, move, and stay independent. At age 60, most Americans don't think twice about standing, walking, getting in and out of a car, or reaching for groceries. But by 70, the legs don't fire as quickly. And by 80, many find themselves avoiding stairs or depending on someone's hand to stand up. That's where the chair rise test comes in, a powerful predictor of mobility, longevity, and freedom. Here's how it works. Sit in a sturdy, armless chair with your feet flat on the floor. Cross your arms over your chest. Set a timer for 30 seconds. Then stand up and sit back down as many times as you can without using your arms for help. Now here's the benchmark. If you're over 60, aim for 15 or more repetitions. In your 70s, 12 to 14 is a strong result. And if you're 80 or above, hitting 10 or more means your muscles are in excellent shape. Fewer than that doesn't mean failure. It means it's time to gently rebuild your strength. Let me tell you about Hank, a 77-year-old retired mechanic from Tulsa, Oklahoma. 6 months ago, he struggled to rise from his recliner after dinner. His grandson would reach out to help him, and Hank would laugh it off, saying, "This chair's just too soft." But deep down, he knew it wasn't the chair, it was his legs. He tried the test and only managed 4 sit-to-stands in 30 seconds, and that moment changed something in him. Hank didn't want to be the grandparent who had to sit out, so he started practicing every morning after his coffee. He'd sit and stand 5 times, arms crossed, slow but steady. Some days were easier than others, but he kept going. Week by week, his legs got stronger. He began to notice other changes too. He could walk up the porch steps without grabbing the rail. He felt more steady in the shower. His daughter even noticed how confident he looked getting out of the car. By month 3, Hank could do 18 sit-to-stands in 30 seconds, better than his 50-year-old son who hadn't practiced at all. And that number meant more than just pride. It meant Hank was reclaiming his independence 1 rep at a time. So how does this work really? When you sit and stand without using your arms, your quadriceps, glutes, and core muscles have to activate together. You're lifting your entire body weight against gravity. At the same time, your balance system stabilizes your spine and your brain coordinates each motion. That's why doctors use this test not just to measure strength, but to predict fall risk, hospitalization rates, and quality of life. If you're ready to try it, here's how to start safely. Use a firm chair placed against a wall. Cross your arms and do 5 slow repetitions twice a day. Make sure your knees don't buckle and your feet stay grounded. Don't rush. Form matters more than speed. As you get stronger, add 1 repetition every few days. Some common mistakes to watch for: don't rock your body to gain momentum. Keep your back upright and avoid leaning too far forward. And don't hold your breath. Breathe out as you stand and in as you sit. If you ever feel sharp knee pain, dizziness, or unsteadiness, stop and talk to your doctor. This is meant to build strength, not push past pain. And remember, improvement isn't about doing 20 reps. It's about moving better than you did last week. In small towns across America, from Nebraska to North Carolina, seniors like Hank are proving that strength is not just for the young. It's for anyone willing to take a few extra minutes each day to rise, not just from a chair, but into a stronger, more confident version of themselves. You've got time, you've got reasons, and now you've got one simple exercise to help you stay on your feet and in control longer. Test 3, walk backwards. 20 steps without touching the wall. There's something surprisingly powerful about walking backwards. It's not something we think much about, not after childhood games or marching band days are long gone. But as we grow older, that one simple skill quietly becomes one of the most important indicators of balanced brain health and independence. You might not use it often, but when you need it, you really need it. Backing away from a hot oven, avoiding a step behind you, dodging a rolling cart at the grocery store. These are the moments that test your body's coordination without warning. And it turns out walking backwards may predict your risk of falling faster than walking forward ever could. Most people are surprised to learn that fewer than 5% of Americans over 80 can walk 20 steps backwards without wobbling, stumbling, or needing support. It's not just about the legs, it's about how the brain, body, and senses work together under pressure. You see, when you walk backwards, your eyes can't guide you the way they usually do. So your body has to rely more heavily on your inner ear, your core muscles, and your sense of spatial awareness. That's called proprioception, and as we age, it starts to fade without us even noticing. Let me introduce you to Carl, a retired railroad worker from Ohio. At 79, Carl still split wood on the weekends and walked 2 miles a day. But one day while backing away from his stove, he nearly fell. His foot caught on the kitchen mat, and he barely caught himself on the countertop. He was shaken, not injured, but shaken. That's when Carl's physical therapist asked him to try a simple test. Walk backwards, she said, just as far as you can without help. He managed 3 steps before grabbing the back of a chair, and that moment hit him harder than the near fall. How could someone so strong going forward feel so unstable going backward? So Carl started small. Each morning he'd stand next to his kitchen wall, heels touching, and step backwards just 3 steps. He kept one hand hovering over the wall just in case. After a week, he could do 5. After 2 weeks, he was up to 8 this time, between 2 chairs in the hallway. By week 6, Carl could walk 25 steps backwards smoothly and confidently, all the way down the patio path behind his house. He said, "I felt like my legs had learned a new language, and suddenly my brain trusted them again." That's the magic behind backward walking. It's not just a movement. It's a training tool for coordination, balance, memory, and reaction time. Scientific studies from major U.S. rehab centers show that backward walking activates different brain regions than forward walking. It boosts mental flexibility, reinforces hip and lower back strength, and improves dynamic balance, the kind of balance you need in real-life situations, not just when standing still. If you're ready to try this test yourself, make sure you're in a safe space. Clear a hallway, wear sturdy shoes, ask a friend or family member to spot you. Start with 5 small backward steps, keeping your hands near a wall or chairs. Focus on landing softly, keeping your knees slightly bent and your chest lifted. As it becomes easier, add 1 step every other day. Eventually aim for 20 full steps in a straight line with no support. It's not about speed, it's about control. Some days might feel better than others. And that's okay, because backward walking isn't just about physical performance, it's about retraining your brain to trust your movement again. This matters even more in places like Chicago or Minneapolis, where winter ice turns sidewalks into hazards, or in places like Florida and Arizona, where seniors walk more and want to stay active longer. It matters in homes and grocery stores, in church parking lots and front porches. It matters because your ability to move confidently in all directions is what keeps you steady, safe, and strong. So the next time you think exercise is only about steps and reps, remember this. Sometimes taking a step back is the best way to move forward. Test 4 timed up and go. Sometimes the most ordinary movements reveal the most extraordinary truths about our health. Standing up from a chair, walking 10 feet, turning around, and sitting back down. It sounds like nothing until it takes more than 20 seconds to do. In the world of senior health, we call this the timed up and go test, or TUG for short. Doctors across America from Seattle to Savannah use this test every day to quietly measure independence, fall risk, and mobility. And here's the benchmark that matters. Under 12 seconds, you're doing well. Over 20 seconds, it might be time to make some changes. This one test captures more than meets the eye. When you stand, you're using your quadriceps and glutes to lift your body. When you walk forward, your balance coordination and stride rhythm come into play. The turn requires focused body control and spatial awareness. And sitting back down tests your strength and precision, especially when fatigue sets in. Let me tell you about Alberta, a 76-year-old woman from Pennsylvania. She always felt strong, but one afternoon at her doctor's office, her TUG time came in at 28 seconds. The nurse said softly, "That's a bit high. Let's work on this." Alberta was stunned, but not discouraged. She started practicing a little each morning, first just standing up and sitting down 5 times in a row, then walking short distances, turning slowly, and sitting with control. She focused on one part each week like her doctor suggested. By week 4, she was already feeling steadier, and by the end of 2 months, her TUG score dropped to 11 seconds flat. That one improvement changed everything. She started grocery shopping again without worrying about getting tired halfway through. She rejoined her church's walking club, and most importantly, she got her confidence back. Because when you can move with ease, you live with more freedom. In big cities like Chicago or small towns in Iowa, your ability to rise, walk, and turn safely determines how long you stay independent. So don't wait. Test yourself gently, train consistently, and remember, every second you improve is a step toward a stronger, safer tomorrow. Test 5, standing on one leg with eyes closed. Most falls don't happen when the sun is shining and the hallway is bright. They happen at night on the way to the bathroom in a dark bedroom, or in the hallway you've walked 1,000 times before. It's not because you forgot how to walk. It's because in the dark, your body has to rely on senses that quietly weaken with age without ever sending a warning. That's where the eyes closed balance test becomes so important. Here's the challenge. Stand near a wall lift 1 foot off the ground and close your eyes. If you can hold your balance for more than 5 seconds, you're doing better than 95% of seniors over 80 in the US. That's how rare and revealing this ability really is. You see, when you close your eyes, your body must switch to using your inner ear and proprioceptive system, the tiny sensors in your joints and muscles. Those systems help your brain understand where you are in space even when you can't see. As we age, these systems decline quietly, and unless we train them, they can fail us when we need them most. Let me share Constance's story. She's 81, a retired librarian from Vermont, and she lives alone in a cozy farmhouse outside Montpelier. 6 months ago, she tried the eyes closed test and barely held for 1 second before tipping forward. It scared her because just a week before, she'd stumbled in the hallway after turning off the light. So she started practicing each morning. At first, just standing still with her eyes open, focusing on stability. Then she'd close her eyes for a single second on a soft mat in her kitchen. She added time slowly by feel, not by force. By month 3, she was holding for 6 seconds. And today she can balance for 12 full seconds in the dark, just by trusting her body. That's the power of training the senses we often ignore. Because in cities like Phoenix or cold towns like Fargo, a fall in the night can change everything. But one small habit practiced gently each day can give you the confidence to move even in the dark. And sometimes that confidence is the real safety net. Before we say goodbye today, I just want to gently remind you the smallest things we practice each day can make the biggest difference in how we move feel, and live. Whether it's standing tall without support, walking backwards with confidence, or simply trusting your balance in the dark, these are more than exercises. They're steps toward freedom. But remember, every person is different and our bodies speak in unique ways. If you're noticing pain, dizziness, or anything unusual, please speak with your doctor first before starting something new. These tips are shared for general awareness. If you're facing any health challenges, be sure to check with your doctor before trying anything new. Now I'd love to hear from you. What part of today's video made you pause, smile, or think about your own journey? Leave a comment below or just type the word HOPE if you're ready to take one small step forward. If this video brought you clarity, encouragement, or just made you feel seen, please subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you don't miss the next one, and share this with a friend, a neighbor, or someone in your family who might need it too. And until next time, may your steps be steady, your mornings be calm, and may you always feel strong enough to keep going. You've got this.